Good day, fellow Basitarians. Today I'm going over the assembly and setup on the StewMac Fret Press system and what you might expect if you should choose to get one of these kits. In the video, I mentioned there are no assembly or setup instructions that were included. However, there is a PDF on the StewMac website outlining this procedure. Okay, one of the first things I want to do is move this aside. You will need a 14, well, in order, you will need a 12, a 14, and a 17 millimeter wrench, and a decent Phillips screwdriver. We can do this in two different ways. Let's go ahead and do the table for the fretboard. All right, so this is an apparatus that they give you. I bought the full kit. This is a piece of poly. It's pretty nice, actually. All right, so what does this do? This is for fretboards that are not glued or adhered to the neck itself. So let's go ahead and put this together. I did get online and got some comparison photographs, or I went to StewMac's website to confirm the placement of some of this stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. So when you get this in the mail, it's usually going to come in a big box and probably not any paperwork or instructions. Just a bunch of random looking hardware. All right, so we'll start with this piece. Like I said, this is for fretboards that are not attached to the neck itself. And it's got a little indexing pin right here so you can get another item from StewMac, and that's an indexing mark for fret marking. So the first thing is you take this piece of aluminum and you attach it to this piece of plastic board, but the back of the fence goes up, the metal attaches to where it hangs down over the edge. And there's only two screws, obviously, that will fit this. So just grab those out of the pile. Put those in. This piece of aluminum that is sent with the kit is machined for countersunk. So these are the two countersunk screws. It's obvious that these are the only place that this can go. The question is, if you don't look at the photographs or anything online, you don't know which way this goes, up or down, you know, hanging down or hanging up over the edge. So anyway, that's how that goes. Now the other two pieces, what looks like, I thought were probably leveling legs for the press itself, is not the case. Like I said, after looking at the pictures online, then these are nothing more than adjusting screws. That will go like that. And you can adjust those in or out, you know. What it does basically, once you chuck this apparatus up to the fret press, you can line up the table here. All right, the second thing is, okay, you got a couple of big knobs. I don't know what those are. You know, they fit together, so that seems like they might go together, but they don't. So basically, you take this one here, and you take this stud, you just kind of screw that on there like that. All right. And you could take this flat washer, the only flat washer here, this is the only thing I can come up with, it just goes there. Then it goes up underneath through there. So you got this all thread with the big plastic handle, bushing washer, sort of flat washer, and a piece of more poly. Then you take this and you screw it into the bottom side of this table. And I put my finger up here so it doesn't go up too far. So that's about level. So that's as far as that goes. Now what this does is, once you have the fret press set up, you'll have to do one of two things. You'll have to take this fret press and either hang it over the bench, all right, or set it up on a couple of blocks mounted to the table. Because what happens is this will go up here like this, and you tighten this down. Give it a good crank. There, that's how that sets up. Now again, these two adjustment screws will let the table pivot back and forth. But like I said, you'll have to either set this up on a couple of wooden blocks bolted to the workbench, or hang it over the edge, because you can see that it would interfere with this thing setting flush on the bench. So I'm not doing those projects just yet. So anyway, I'm taking this off, but this is assembled. So there's just a handful of parts now you don't have to worry about. Now the other parts, let's get onto this here. This doesn't come set up at all. It is assembled somewhat, but it does need to have a setup, so to speak. All right, so the first thing is you'll notice that this arbor is really kind of like in a position where it's already down all the way. And how could you possibly insert this piece of it just doesn't work. All right, there's no room that you can get on here because you don't want it to automatically want to spring down on you. So basically, you have to take this front piece off. And when I got this, these bolts were kind of like only finger tight to begin with. So what I'm doing is just taking this front piece off. You might have to crack it loose with a wrench or something. Let's get this out of here. And basically this is just adjusting the ram, the arbor. You take that off and just lay it down. All right, now, so you'll notice there's a little set screw here. Make sure the handle is in like a neutral position, but bring it forward and let it just rest down. All right. And then you take this arbor, or the press part, and you put it in here, and you place it just to where the set screw is just below the bottom of the casting. Let's get a couple screws in here just to make sure this is adjusted properly. It is a little bit oily, so if you need to touch your computer screen or something like that, you will get oil on things. All right, so now if you notice, it doesn't go up. So then you now have full range of motion. All right. All right, now you take this bolt, just a carriage bolt, Allen head, just screw that in, and if you notice there's a hole in the back here. All right, put the bolt in and thread the nut on the other side. There, that gives you a stop. All right, but you see that this is still kind of flimsy or rickety. So you take this little piece here, which is just nothing more than a bolt with a tab on it. You screw this on the end of the arbor rotating thing, and you just tighten it up. There. Now you can take this and tighten it up to where it needs to be, and this is going to be a 17 millimeter. And I will get crescent wrench. And give that a good tighten. There we go. You're done with the 17 millimeter. Now you can see that you have plenty of movement here, and it will always retract into that spot right there. Okay. Now the next thing is, now that we know that this ram is adjusted properly as far as travel, we can go ahead and put the bolts back in. I don't think there's any reason that you need to lube this. It's already kind of pre-oiled. Yes, it is from China, so they oil the crap out of it, probably for the trip coming overseas. Just give that a nice little snug. I probably don't have to give it too much because it's just holding this in place, and after all, it is only pressing frets in a guitar, so it's not like it's going to be seeing tons of pressure. So just give that a nice little snug. All right. And so that's okay, we're getting somewhere now. Now that you have everything set up and the front plate on, you probably should go ahead and adjust the arbor, or the ram that goes inside the arbor. There are adjustment points. Now it will wobble this way a little bit and forward and backwards. But the thing is, it's really not, it's pressing frets, all right? So, but if you want to go ahead and take all the play out of it, then you can take now I don't know if this was attached when it was shipped and just came unattached, but I'm going to go ahead and put it back in. And according to the photographs I saw on StewMac's website, they had the adjustment, apparently that's what this is, they had that up top. So I'll just go ahead and screw that in. And with the tools that they supply you, I'll take the largest Allen wrench, which looks like a 4mm. So you screw that in until it, there. Okay, now it's rubbing up against the ram itself. All right, so we don't want it that tight, obviously. So I'm going to back it off just a pinch to where I don't feel any friction between the set screw and the ram itself. So I'll just keep doing that, and then, all right, that feels pretty good right there. Maybe a little looser. All right, that's not too bad. So I'll keep that there, and I will take a wrench and just tighten up the jam nut. Give it a snug and try it. I can feel just a pinch, just a wee, well, that's a little bit more than I want, so I will loosen it up just a hair. There we go. I think the set screw probably moved while I was tightening it up. So just give that a little snug. All right, so that feels pretty good. And there's not a whole lot of play. Now there's two more on the opposite side. So you want to do the same thing, back these nuts out, or yeah, back the nuts off of the set screw. And do the same thing, screw it in just until you feel it touching the arbor itself or the ram. Back it off. That feels pretty okay right there. So I will go ahead and tighten this jam nut up. Give it a snug first. Go, let's try it. Okay, feels good. I don't feel any resistance, so I know that the set screw is not hitting the arbor, just barely touching it. Same thing with the bottom one. Just keep doing that until you feel little or no resistance, like right there, and then tighten this set screw up with the jam nut. Give it a snug, try it. Okay, I like it. Now I'll go ahead and there, set it. Okay, so now this is all looking good. We have little or no movement sideways, little or no movement forward. This little plastic set screw or jam, whatever you want to call it. Like I said, there was this one lonely nut in the box, so I'm assuming that's what this is. So this will go on the bottom threaded hole in the casting. The only thing I can think of is this is for, like if you are gluing in frets, you will go ahead and set the fret, press it in, and then if you need to maintain pressure on it, you can crank it like that, and you can walk away forever how long it takes for the glue to dry or set up. So that's the only thing I can think of. So I just leave it right there, I suppose. Last thing is the fret call itself. All right, now I'm going to be doing a job here very soon, probably later on today, with a 9.5-inch radius. So I'll go ahead and chuck that up. So the calls that they send you, starting at lowest, 6-inch, 7 1/4, 9.5, 12, and 16-inch radius. So I am going to be doing a job with a 9.5-inch radius later on today, probably. So I'll go ahead and chuck that up in the press. It's a little tedious, but there we go. All right, so now you take this. Oh, here's where that comes in handy already. Go ahead and pull the ram down a little bit. So real quick, you'll see that it's machined. Now you'll see that this has got a little step down. So we'll go ahead and we're going to put the set screw right in the middle of that. So go ahead and put it in there, tighten it up, and okay, now we're in that detent spot. All right, then you give it just a snug, because this is going to probably rotate around anyway a little bit. All right, so there we go. That is the fret press from StewMac, Stuart McDonald. Also, they give you a really nice neck call. Don't know what the radius is. It's not a radius. It's just for the back of many different necks. It'll probably fit many different profiles of necks. But yeah, just that goes in there like that. And then you know how the rest goes. But that is the StewMac Fret Press. I really like it. Maybe a simple cheat sheet on instructions, because like I said, when I first opened it up, I was like, holy crap, everything's kind of like disassembled, and I don't know where all the nuts and bolts go to or anything like that. But I have had experience of setting up different types of arbor presses, so I know the general idea of what you need to do. This is not a precision piece of machinery, so it's not imperative that the ram has zero slop anywhere. You know, it's not that kind of an arbor press. Arbor presses really are meant to do one thing, is to press one thing into another. So, but I like it. It's a little bit pricey. I know that you can get online and find other arbor presses and adapt it to this type of a job. But they had a sale, and I'm a member there, so I think I got this just at or under $200. I get free shipping, so it's not bad. You know, I wanted to try it out anyway, you know, so I like it. I think it's reasonably well built, and I really like the options they give you with as far as this table. If you buy the whole kit, you know, you can get this. Now you can do fret presses with fretboards that are, like I said, not attached to the neck itself. So that's a big plus. And with the kit, you get all these different calls. You know, you get the press part, and you get the 5 different press calls. So that's it. I like it. And good luck with your setup if you choose to buy this brand.